Hello everyone, I'm Richard Gon of Work to Live podcast version. This time, as the title shows, I'd like to talk about the Third World War. The title says time of the Third World War or time of World War III, about which I'd like to tell you a story. And first of all, do you think the Third World War is going to happen in the future? So my expectation or my speculation is that such a thing may happen. Such a thing may happen in the future. Which means if there's a war, whose size is whose size is going to become a world war class. I think such a war may happen, or such a war is going to happen, or such a war is possibly going to happen in the future, because people have, or humankind mankind or human beings have opened a lot of wars from the birth of humankind, or from the birth of mankind. People have opened, or people have started many wars, countless times. Actually, it's impossible to count the number of wars, which is the number of wars. The number of wars is really abundant in that sense, or in that way. And for example, so considering the two previous world wars, and so maybe Great War has been called the war to end wars, or the war to end all wars. Great War had been called like that. The Great War had been called the war to end all wars. But as you know, or as the history shows, 30 some years after the Great War, the Second World War occurred, or the Second World War was opened by the concurrence of, or by the invasion of by the invasion which was done by Nazi Germany, and the army of Nazi Germany invaded, or went to Poland, by which the Second World War occurred, which is what history says. And there's going to another story. There's a problem in my country that there's a problem that all the people who have experienced World War II are going to die, and so in the future, the world where nobody had experienced World War II, it's going to come. There's such problems that all the people who had experienced World War II are going to die in the future. But that is natural, and if such a thing occurs, which means I don't think I have to tell you, but I don't think I have to tell you this, but all the people are going to die in the future. So if you say, or if you think there is a problem, to start with, for example, using the example of pandemic. For example, there are some pandemics, so for example, bubonic plagues. So I investigated before, but there was a pandemic in, for example, in 14th century, for example. So there's nobody who had experienced that pandemic. And in the case of, and I was reading a novel in which there was a story about the pandemic happened in London in the middle of 17th century, and there was a pandemic of bubonic plague in London, which lasted from 1665 to 1666, or around that era. And I don't know much about, I don't know anything about that pandemic of bubonic plague, but considering the event happened, considering the fact that that pandemic happened in the middle of 17th century, nobody who experienced that pandemic had survived because that is too fast. I don't know how to say that. That is a past far from this present time. But we understand which means people living in this present time understand that the pandemics are really severe problems because we are experiencing the pandemic of coronavirus. I mean if you haven't experienced it in the future some people may listen to this episode, so you may have not experienced the pandemic of coronavirus. I'm recording this episode on January in 2022, when the pandemic of coronavirus still exists or still lasted. The pandemic of coronavirus has still lasted, has still continued. Anyway, so I used an example of pandemic, but everybody knows that opening wars is bad. Nobody wants to start wars. Nobody wants to start wars to start with. So you don't like wars. You don't like wars. I don't like wars. So nobody wants to open wars. So and another example is that there was a really young there is really a young political leader, isn't there? The person I'm talking about is Sanna Marin. Miss Sanna Marin is a prime minister of Finland, and she is at the age of, I don't remember, but she is 30s. She is maybe 36 years old. Maybe she's I think she is 30. She is at the age of 36. Anyway, when I'm recording this, she is in her 30s. She is in her 30s. Anyway, so if you ask her whether opening wars is good or bad, if Prime Minister Sanna Marin is next to you, for example, and if you ask her whether it's a good thing to start wars or not, maybe she's going to answer that is a bad action. I think I don't think you do not even have to ask her such a ridiculous question, because almost everybody knows that opening wars or starting wars is a bad action or foolish actions. It's a foolish action. So which means the third World War, it's not likely to happen. It's not likely to be going to happen in the future. But actually, we don't know what is going to happen in the future. Maybe there may be some kind of really a huge political event by which the Third World War might be provoked, or might be triggered. There may be some there is possibly going to be for example some huge political event, like bombarding. Some country may bombard another country, like I live in a Far East country, and one of the neighbor countries is the People's Republic of Korea, which is called North Korea in this world. And North Korea may bombard my country North Korea may bombard my country with nuclear bomb or nuclear weapon, by which the third world war might be triggered in the future. Maybe the third world war can be triggered in the future by the bombarding done by North Korea against our country. But apart from or without such kind of event, maybe nothing is going to happen. I mean, nothing severe is going to happen. Of course, as small wars of small sizes are happening, and wars of smaller sizes are going to happen in the future. But the wars of World War class are not going to happen. Well, world wars. I don't think world wars may happen in the future. But if you're worried about the possibilities of world wars too much, I don't think that is rational, because if such a world war occurs in the future, that is maybe 100 years after this time. I mean, but the world war is such a thing far from our lives, which is what I'd like you to understand. So going back to the original topic of this episode. So if you ask me whether the Third World War is going to happen in the future, or do I think whether the Third World War is going to happen in the future? So my answer is such a thing may happen. Such a world war may happen in the future. But maybe if such a thing happens, I think you have already dead, which is what I'd like you to know this time. So if all the humans are going to be killed by some kind of event, that might be, for example, a pandemic of viruses, for example. And another possibility is a meteor crash, for example, or volcanic explosion might cause the extinction of human beings, like dinosaurs. Or maybe dinosaurs are extinguished because of meteor crash, for example. I don't know real cause of the extinction of dinosaurs, but it is said so. It is said that dinosaurs were killed by meteor crashes. What I'd like you to understand is that if the Third World War is going to happen in the future, that is, maybe you have already been dead if such a thing happens in the future, which is what I'd like you to know this time. That's it. Thank you very much for your listening. See you.